So a couple hours ago, The Guardian reported that Use UK have hired lawyers to look at the claims against Dan Wootton, who obviously is the former Sun columnist. Dan Wootton has been accused of offering Sun colleagues tens of thousands of pounds for sexual material. And this is the Sun's parent company. They've hired external lawyers to help investigate very serious allegations regarding Dan Wootton's time at the tabloid. Use UK have asked that to contact its most senior lawyer if they have any information regarding the claims, and promised that all information will be treated in confidence, have offered counselling services to anyone affected, and also asked employees not to talk to journalists while inquiries were underway. Also, The Guardian have confirmed that they've spoken to 7 current and former Sun employees who say they received emails from Martin Branning, and that's the mixture of the two characters in EastEnders, Martin Fowler and Max Branning. All claim they were offered large sums of money in return for pictures. So this is specifically, the Guardian are reporting on the catfishing and the blackmailing allegations. They haven't mentioned the other allegation of the drugging and being sexually assaulted. It was the Kev Sutherland, that accusation. Some people say he's maybe not entirely credible. By his own admission, he has said that he was convicted of extortion, I believe, when he was 19. And so some people are saying that he's not very credible, and he's kind of basically a fraud and goes by another name. I think it's William Watson. So who knows? Maybe that's not all entirely true there. But again, who knows? He may have done something bad in the past. That doesn't mean to say that this specific allegation he's got against Dan is 100% untrue. Dan was putting on the waterworks yesterday on the show GBUs. He got a wee bit emotional. You could see at the very start a little bit, a few seconds in, as he was going through the teleprompter. But he was saying something about an allegation about that ex that's trying to destroy his life, and something about he had said to him in writing that he would slit his throat. And so that'd be interesting, though. I mean, Dan said he's gone to the police about this. Is this actually in writing? Is this a written letter? Was this a text? Was this an email? So again, I'd be interested to hear more about that in detail a bit, and see what comes of that. Dan was also claiming that people have been saying about how he deleted tweets in relation to Hugh Edwards, but he's saying that he didn't. He had also mentioned Carol Vorderman there. Dan might have been a bit smart about it, though, by saying that he may have been like, when the whole thing about the BBC presenter thing came up and no one named him. That's maybe when Dan commented on that, and so he may have not actually even said Hugh Edwards' name. But again, I don't follow Dan Wootton on Twitter, so I don't know the stuff that he's been tweeting. But again, that's one thing, though. I heard people say that about him deleting tweets, but I never saw any screenshots, though. So that was a little bit of a funny one there. I have to admit that. But then again, Dan goes on about, I made errors of judgment in the past. But the thing is, Dan should just be straight up saying that, how he vehemently denies all the allegations. He doesn't have to go and be like, made errors of judgment in the past. I don't get all that. When if it's all untrue, just be like, damn it, this is not true at all, and make that very clear. But the one thing I found a bit interesting, though, you got Byline Times, and they've said they've been investigating this for 3 years. And, you had Dan who moved, he was in, GBU started about 2 years ago. I think it was around this time 2 years ago. And I don't remember Dan, being very, like, a political guy before. So I just wonder, with this, did Dan know what was coming? Did he know that people were onto him? That there was an investigation going on there? And by going over to GBUs, because I'm sure with how things work in that media world, you have social circles, and I'm sure it wouldn't have been that difficult with Dan and connections in the industry there for him to easily just move on to another job, another position, and maybe that's what it was all about, going over to GBUs to help reinvent his image, go from the silly kind of gossip showbiz column stuff to more kind of serious political stuff. He might have known exactly what he was doing there. And obviously, people in GBUs, a lot of people, many people have come out and defended him, said, "Oh, he's a great friend, he's this, he's that, and blah blah blah." But and then Dan might have come off like a great guy to these people, though. I'm not denying that, but then Dan's probably the guy that probably knows what type of face to put on for all sorts of different people. Of course, he could be all nice with showbiz celebrities and roll out the red carpet for them when he was, obviously back at the Sun. But then, you hear the stories about Dan allegedly saying, "Oh, don't you know who I am?" to people. I mean, see people out in bars and stuff like that. But so who knows there? But I mean, the timing of this was quite. I noticed that with the timing of the Guardian article being posted, that it was it was 10 minutes after Dan Wootton went on the air. So I think they were very smart and strategic about the timing of when they posted this. It didn't really give Dan a chance to come out and combat that or say anything else in relation to that, and these things do kind of come a bit of a chess game, do they? I'm sure like Byline are bided their time, and they're thinking, well, when to pounce next, because they got a 3-part series, So I'm sure it's not even like they're sitting on this material, right? And they're figuring when's the best time to release the next part and then the part after. So I guess we just have to wait and see what happens there. And again, it's funny now. This is the big story now, right? This has been for a good few days now. It's all gone away about Hugh Edwards. Obviously, all the Philip Schofield stuff has gone away from 2 months ago. That's all gone away as well. And I don't know. I mean, this could still be a big story, a big thing for like maybe another week or so with Dan. But I mean, It goes back for me with Dan when it was the whole thing about him like praising when it was revealed that how he had praised Phil for coming out as gay the day after when he was on This Morning Sofa on his talk radio show at the time. But then later on he's going on like, oh, Philip Schofield is the reason why I left ITV and all this bullshit. And I mean, at that moment he was exposed to me as a hypocrite with no morals, and I should have already known that, people like that in that showbiz tabloid world. And I don't really know if he's changed all that much, because let's face it, leopards don't change their spots. He's going to appear that as if he's changed for the better because he knows he has to. My guess is because he knows people are onto him with all this stuff, with the allegations, not because he genuinely wants to change, not like it's generally within him to be a better person. But it will just be interesting. I would say within the next 12, 14 days, it'll be very interesting to see how the developments in this story and of more big, strong, like bigger, kind of wilder accusations come out about Dan. I'm sure there's other stuff there. I mean, overall, Byline Times, there was 4 allegations there on there from the article from the other day. And now the Guardian said they've spoken to 7 employees with the Sun now, and 7. So they say 7 current and former Sun employees. And fair play to News UK. They're at least doing something, or at least this appears to be on the surface. They're doing something about it by bringing in lawyers on this to investigate these allegations. The other day, they had said, a spokesperson for them, News UK, said we'd received an email from Byline, which they're looking into, and they weren't able to make any further comment at that stage. But 48 hours later, at least, seems to be something seems to, like, they're taking action, at least a bit. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. But it does seem like the walls are closing in on Dan Wootton, though, right? Or should I call Martin Branning? But anyway, those are my thoughts overall, guys. So let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment. Also, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And stay tuned, because I will be back for some more content. I'm going to be try and be a bit more active. So thanks, guys. See ya.